All right, so what's up? We are here in Bonao this weekend, and right here I got somebody that you guys probably already know from Jerry and Shayla Island Living. This is my guy Jerry. So Jerry, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm Jerry from, like you said, from Jerry Shayla Island Living. Hey, glad to be here, hanging out with my man here, Jay, in this great environment. The weather's trying to take care of us a little bit, but a little bit of water, but we all right. Hey, we're gonna keep pushing through.
Yeah. So you and I have been in contact for maybe about a month now. I guess I don't know, a month now, and we met up probably about a week and a half ago, man. I got turned on to Jerry's wife's channel because his wife's channel was the first channel that you guys actually created. What's the name of that channel again?
Jen Rachel.
And of course, my wife seen her channel, she turned me on to it, and we kind of like just been, kind of looking at the channel. And as I was watching the channel, I kind of figured, I said, man, it's a brother behind this channel. He doing some of the stuff I was doing when I first brought my wife out. He hide behind the camera, man. And slowly but surely, at some point, he revealed himself. And when he revealed himself, I knew I was right. And it was this guy, Jerry. And they ended up starting another channel, which, because his wife's channel is in Spanish, all Spanish. And then they decided to create a channel together. And that's how, when I seen that channel and I knew that, that there was a brother, I said, man, I got to reach out to him and, just link up. Because I'm of the mind that if, we're doing the same thing and we both from America, both brothers, man, it's only right that we link up just to see if there's anything, that we can do together and help each other out. And that's what I did, man. We connected. Met up last week, and then now we here a week later, here in Bonao, enjoying the weekend.
Yeah, and it was similar experience for me and my wife. Like Jay say, we started about a year and a half ago, and with the other channel, decided to go Spanish channel. And like I told Jay, his channel, his wife's channel, inspired us to start our channel, along with a couple other different reasons. But at the end of the day, we've been watching for at least the last year and a half, almost 2 years, his wife's channel. And then when he got hit this channel, we just jumped on board and we continue to love it. And for me, I was like, man, I've always wanted to reach out to them. We've tried in the past, but I've also told my wife we were gonna wait until we gave ourselves 1 year before I was gonna put myself in front of the camera. And I didn't want to put myself in front of the camera, and I didn't want to jump the gun trying to reach out to Jay. And then once I started seeing him on his wife's channel, it started letting me know, okay, this is starting to get a nice little groove. And I love what they were doing, their little chemistry and everything they had going on. So from there, that was it.
So everybody is gonna ask, what brought you here to Dominican Republic?
What brought me here to Dominican Republic, long story short, is I had no idea about how great this country was and the things that it provided, the weather, the women, everything in between, the food. And so therefore, I had a friend that told me, hey man, let's go to Dominican Republic. And I said, man, I don't know about that. I don't know nothing about Dominican Republic, man. Let's go to the casino in Las Vegas because I'm a gambler. And he was like, man, nah, let's go to Dominican Republic. And I had a passport, but my passport had expired. So he's like, man, get your passport. I'll buy you a ticket, and I'll pay for the villa. It was a villa. So I paid for the villa, and I was all right, cool. And so once I came and I enjoyed it, I said, man, ain't no going back. And a lot of people say this, I've heard this before, but a lot of people say it's a feeling that you get when you come here. It's the vibe, the people, the culture, the community, the family living is what drew me to this country, and which ultimately told me, hey, it's time to stay. Don't go back. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know the things that we dealing with in the United States. And I said this before, and I'm gonna say it one more time. I love the United States. It's my home country. And at the same time, though, I come here and I'm just at peace.
And just to add to that, you also served your country.
Right.
For how many years?
I'm a veteran. Served for 21 years in the United States Army, and it was a great experience. I got some combat deployments under my belt. I've done a lot, seen a lot. I'm a airborne paratrooper, and I'm just here to enjoy life. And now that I've served my country's giving back to me and allowing me to do what I'm doing here in this country.
Yeah,
me and my family.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. You served your country. Now it's time for your country to serve you.
That's it.
Right.
That's
right.
it.
That's cool. And just to touch on a point you made, like the feeling when you come here is like a feeling you get. You know, we were talking with another guy, and he's from California. We had this conversation last night that it's just a feeling you get when you come here. And for a lot of people who hear that, you know, they're gonna twist that up to mean that we're talking about women, but it's not. It's far from that. Because at the end of the day, at least, especially for me, because at the end of the day, my first trip was over here in 2008 or 9. YouTube was barely even around at that time. YouTube was about 3 years old, and they was, you know, had kite videos and cat videos on there. Nobody was talking about Dominican Republic. So to say that I came over here looking for women, that is just absurd. When I got here, it was just what you mentioned. It was the vibe. It was the environment, the people, the food, and just the whole community that I actually liked. Now at the time, I didn't know what it was. You know, I just knew that I felt good being here. And then I just continued to keep coming back and back. And every time I came back, I would get that same feeling. So what do you say to people who always think, especially black men, that the only reason we come over here is because we're looking for women or we want to, you know, do the pay for play thing?
Yeah. I say that does happen here.
Right.
We will say that. It does happen. But at the same time, that's not my experience. That's not how I live, and that's not what I do. When I come here, like I said, it's for the vibe, the weather, the everything in between. Like I said, the women come along with it, and the way they were raised and their culture, and the way they treat men is, in my opinion, it's up there. It's second to none in my opinion. But some people might agree, some people might disagree. But for me, just the family vibe, the way if you go to somebody's house, they're gonna offer you something, some coffee or some tea or whatever, or some drink. They're gonna offer you something, or some food. You hungry? It's a vibe and a family feeling that you just really is hard to explain. You have to come here to experience it for yourself and understand that, hey, wow, now I see what they're saying. And I've said this before, gotta get them boots on ground. Gotta get them boots on ground.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. You have to, the only way to actually truly experience it is to be here, boots on the ground. And I personally always tell people that Santo Domingo should be your first stop. And the reason why is because, to me, Santo Domingo is the heartbeat of the city. It kind of dictates everything else on the island. Now, Punta Cana is great. It's its own little world pretty much, but it's more of a tourist area. But when you come to Santo Domingo, you get a greater, and you see what's going on, you get a greater appreciation of everything that goes on the island, even in Punta Cana, even in Puerto Plata, and all the other areas of the island. So I always recommend people to come to Santo Domingo. What's your thoughts on that? Do you recommend Santo Domingo first, or what? And what are your thoughts about Santo Domingo?
Well, I agree with you 100% because my first stop was Santo Domingo. When I first came here, I came right to Santo Domingo. That was my spot. And when I got here, first, like I said, boots on ground. When I first came, the vibe, the people, everything was exactly like I explained already. And it started with this city. the Santo Domingo. It started here. And I really, really feel like you said, if you come to Santo Domingo, then you can understand, okay, this country has a lot more to offer. There's a lot of tourist attractions here. There's a lot of different things you can do with your family. Or if you want to just do the nightlife thing, there's a lot of things you can do for nightlife too. Zona Colonial and other places that you can do and enjoy yourself as well. So here is a great spot. And like I said, just continue to brush up on your Spanish and you'll be fine when you come to areas like this, because this is not really a touristy area, right?
Right, no, it's not a touristy area, yeah. So you mentioned you came here, end up liking it, and now, I don't even think we mentioned it. Well, we did mention, yeah, you and your wife have a challenge. So how did you meet your wife?
I met my wife, as I said on my channel before, we met in Santo Domingo on Tinder. It's a dating app. So we met on a dating app. We were able to link up maybe two, 3 days later. And then I met her at a restaurant. We hung out at the restaurant. We enjoyed each other's company. We had a couple drinks. The vibe was excellent. And I felt like at the time that this could be the one. This could be the one. And then we just steadily progressed. And we were talking yesterday, and it's a funny thing that my plan was to come here for 5 days, leave, and I left, but I wasn't gonna return for a while. And after I met my wife, I returned 2 weeks later. I did me old flip, came right on back, had to get back, had to come on back. And I said, hey, it was calling me. It was calling me, so I came on back like old Pookie. It was calling me. I had to come on back, man. Yeah, man, so that's what happened, and it was great. And me and her, we've been together ever since. I am very thrilled that I met this guy here and his wife. Man, and I want to thank him on camera for inviting us here to this villa. It's amazing. I'm sure y'all gonna see footage of it, but I'm telling y'all, this guy right here is A1. Hands down, no egos involved, none of that stuff that some people have to deal with. It's all about love, family, and helping everybody grow. And I love it. And we're gonna continue to do this thing, y'all. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
I appreciate that, man. I didn't even know you were gonna say that, but I appreciate that. So going back to what you previously said about meeting your wife on Tinder, people are gonna say that the only type of women that are on Tinder are women who are just looking to get money, or they're looking to, pay for play, hook up type thing for money. What do you say to those people who say that you can't find good women on Tinder?
Great question, great question. So I would say that you have to be strategic in what you're doing. Like I said, when I first started on Tinder, I was in the United States. I hadn't had boots on ground, and I didn't have a passport. So at that time, that was the only way to meet somebody from Dominican Republic was to go online and meet them online. So throughout my process, I learned along the way, there's certain things you can do and certain things you cannot do. I had on my profile, a lot of people don't know this, I had on my profile, no P4P. That was on my profile. I don't want you. Another thing that I learned, if your ass is out, if your booty cheeks is clapping, if your titties is out, we can't do it. I can't do it. If I see that, I will never swipe. And so I learned throughout my time going through that thing, I was able to weed out the ones that were bad. And of course, I get a couple that would like me, and I'd be like, yo, wait a minute, this ain't right. And then I say, hey, how you doing, whatever, and they'd be like, hey, where you at? Hey, can we meet? How much money you got? Whoa, we ain't talking about no money. I don't do money. I don't pay. So once you start learning the process and weeding out, it makes that whole thing a lot easier, and that helped me out. And that's how I was able to find my wife, because I wanted a wholesome woman. If she had her clothes regular, and maybe she had a photo with a job, then now we could talk now. But once again, even some of the ones with photos with jobs, that's a photo from 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They be having photos from 5 years. You be like, wait a minute, this ain't right.
Yeah.
So like I said, I had to navigate through it and weed through it. And that when I met my wife, like I said, sometimes you got to be like, yo, this is what it is. This is gonna be straight. Or you could be like, nah, that ain't gonna work. I'm getting away from her. But it's just like any other process when you're dating somebody. If you meet them at a mall, if you meet them wherever, at your job, you're gonna date them. You're gonna figure out what type of person they are. You know, what type of family values do they have. And once you do that, then you can say, okay, this person might be good for me. This person might not be good for me. But I wouldn't stray away from a dating app, especially if you don't live here in this country, because there's a lot of good women out there. You just got to pick the right one, I think.
You know, I was about to ask you that the next, because now that you live here now and you've been here, would you recommend people still use a dating app, or would you recommend even? And I understand you're saying because if you're not boots on the ground, but do you prefer them? Do you recommend them come here to try to, meet someone?
That's a tricky question. I would say you can do both. You can go ahead and try to get on a dating app, and you can say if that dating app, if you're not willing to deal with the dating app, you want to just come here. But for me, and the way I did it was, and one thing that I forgot to mention, I stopped talking to people that spoke English. If you started talking to me in English, I wouldn't talk to you. If you responded to me in English, I wouldn't talk to you. So another little nugget that I like to give out: if you want to do one of these dating sites, this is just for me. You just deal with the ones that aren't, as I call, Americanized. Mm-hmm. If they're not Americanized, they can speak a little bit of English, but if they're not Americanized, 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to have to deal with all the extra drama. And they might be your soulmate. You never know. But come here, and that's my other problem. If you come here and you can't speak the language, especially coming to Santo Domingo, you're going to also, you'll be okay because you can use a translator or whatever, but you might have a couple more hiccups than you would if you try to meet somebody before you got here.
Right. So next question. So how long have you been here?
I've been
in Dominican Republic.
I've been in Dominican Republic for 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have any plan on going back? Any plans on returning to the United States to live?
Never. I have no plans on returning to the United States to live. Zero. Like, zero.
Why?
Because I've found my home. I found island living is where it's at, and that's where I want to be at. Y'all see right now, y'all can see this sun just kicked out.
Right.
And it's on us. I'm telling you, you never know. It could be raining one minute, and it could be the sun could be out the next. So what better time, what better place to be at than right here? Right. And like I've said this before too, I love the ocean. I love the sound of the ocean. I love looking at it. I just sit back and just enjoy looking at it with my wife. We just hang out and we just go down to
the Malecon
and just hang out, man. Mm-hmm. And we love it. So I would never go back. I go back to visit. I love to visit my country, but I'm not going back to live.
Yeah. So
what about you?
Me? I have no plans on it. I don't have no plans on it. You know, I don't have any. I've come to the realization. I was talking to a guy on Instagram, and he sent me a voice note saying something similar. I found that I feel more comfortable here than I do over there, and it's no shot at the U.S. and nothing like that because that's where I'm from. I was born, raised, my family is there, but it just no longer gives me what I feel I need, or it doesn't give me what I feel my family also needs. So I don't know. You know, I can't tell you what the future holds, but I know if I had to make a decision now, it'll be no, I'm not going back. You know, I don't know, Dominican Republic may turn into, I don't know, a war zone. If it turns into a war zone and they start doing all the crazy stuff over here that they do over there, then maybe, yeah, but no. But at this point,
At
no.
this point.
No, I'm not going. So, just before we wrap it up, because I know people ask this question all the time. They ask it on your channel, they ask it on my channel, they ask my wife's channel, everybody's channel, even your wife's channel, I'm sure. But what do you think a person needs in terms of per month to live here in, let's say Santo Domingo. I ain't gonna say Dominican Republic because we know if you want to live for $4,000 a month, you can find it. If you want to live for $10,000, you can find it. But what about like just average, modest living in Santo Domingo? What do you think you need?
We talking about one person?
Let's say one person.
I would say to be comfortable and be just regular, between 2,000, 2,500, round about there. Depends. At a comfortable, because most apartments you can find an apartment to rent for about $400, and some people might take it up to 8 or whatever, 4 to 8. So if you average that out, and then you got your electric, your water, your internet, your phone, all that other stuff, about 2,500
Right.
for one person to get you right. And you know, depend on if you now that goes up. The more things you ask for, the more things you think you want. But if you don't have a car, there's a lot of Ubers in this area. You can take taxis, you can take buses. I don't know how you feel about those type of transportations, but for people just coming here to live this on a modest budget, and their income is not allowing them to get to a certain level, I think that'll do it for them.
Yeah.
Well,
I think 2,500 is a good number. I think just across the board, I think 2,500 is a good number that you can live comfortable in Santo Domingo. And if you can live comfortable in Santo Domingo off 2,500, then you can live, you know, anywhere pretty much in the rest of the island. Because this, outside of Punta Cana, this is probably the most expensive city in the country. So I agree, 2,500. My family, we live off 2,400, 2,500, and we're a family of 3. And I know people gonna say, oh, you can live for less than that, and you can. But here's the thing. People who saying you can live off $1,000 or $1,200, you can, but what you're limited to doing is, you know, what you're limited to doing is not much. You know what I'm saying? You're watching every penny. You know, you may have somebody, hey, let's go out and do this. You know, well, I can't do it this week because I ain't got this. But I would personally say the minimum. I think the minimum you need is $1,500.
and like I said, with that, you gotta be careful with the 1,500 because we talking about security and what area you living in.
That's true.
Are you comfortable with these type of areas? You might be able to get some rent for $200.
Yeah.
$150. I mean, we've heard on the internet people say you can rent an apartment for $150 here. I don't know where it's at, but apparently it's here because somebody said it is. And I'm telling you, you go to that area and you look around, you probably gonna say no if you a type of person that wants to be safe.
Right. So you don't think they can do it for 15? Even at even having rent at 500 or 400.
You gonna be on a modest
That's what
budget.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Modest budget.
A modest budget.
I mean, you talking about going out and all this other stuff. I don't know about that.
Right.
I don't know about that. I'm sure it's doable. I'm sure it's doable.
Right. But like I said, you're just gonna be limited to some of the things that you can do. So I just wanted to, ask you that and get your perspective
Yeah,
on
that
that.
2,500 though.
Yeah.
That's
baseline.
Where you come here, you got 2,500 every month, and it's no changing.
Right.
You're gonna be all right, unless of course prices go up and whatnot. Like I said, but once you add a car into that those numbers change. I promise you.
Yeah. Of course. You like you say, the more things you want, but nice place that's secure, 24/7 security, your internet, high-speed internet, all that good stuff, man. With $2,500, you good.
Locked in.
You locked in. And I know people gonna disagree because they always say, "Oh, I can live less than that." But yeah, it just depends on the type of person. But if you want the lifestyle, I mean, a decent lifestyle, I think that's the baseline.
And let me add this real quick too. I don't want people to think that Jay and Jerry say, "Hey, you come in for." They told us you can come in for $1,500 and I can live good. And then I got there and that was a lie. No. Do what you can do. Do what you feel like your pockets can handle. If we just get that question asked a lot, like he said, what do you think I need to come here and live? And we just giving you that baseline. We telling you that some people do live here for less than that. Yes, we know that. But at the end of the day, we just letting you know from our experience. You're gonna have to do your own research, but from our experience, that's the baseline,
right.
2,500.
Right. I agree. And guys, listen, man, that sun like he talked about is crazy. I mean, I don't know, even just throughout this video, this video is like 37 minutes now. And when we started, there was no sun. Then it rained. I don't know if you know that. And now it stopped raining. Now the sun's out, man. It's crazy. So now it's messing up our light now and all the light over here on this side of our face, man. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Before we go, man, what you think about this villa here in Bonao?
Man, this villa is outstanding. All the rooms, the pool, the kitchen, the landscape, it's excellent, top notch. I recommend it. I don't know the name of it, but I'm sure Jay had put it out to y'all. But I'm telling you, I would pay to stay here. I would pay to have other people come again and stay here because this place is nice.
Yeah,
and the air conditioner.
he said the air conditioner is terrible, but the air conditioner is not terrible. It's working.
It is. Really hey, that thing is wet there, as they say, which is powerful. That thing powerful.
Because he was talking yesterday, and he was like, man, I can't sleep without no AC. And I said, so this morning I said, he said, I couldn't sleep because of the AC. I said, but I thought you said last night you couldn't sleep without AC. He said, I can sleep without it being Antarctica.
Exactly.
All right, so you have it. You heard it all. So remember, always keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present, because that's the only way you're going to live your best life. And we out. Peace.
Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, no.